There was a new mutator introduced from the Halloween event, and it allows us to create a crazy flame build with really high DPS. It's so easy to use, and it allows us to defeat apocalypse bosses in less than a minute, like the Ravager you can see here. It's most likely a bug and will be patched soon, so if I was you, I'd try it out before it's too late. It's already overpowered enough, but I like to mix it with a mod spam and misty step build so I can easily dodge all attacks whilst your mods and flame turret melt your enemies away. Here you can see I'm on the apocalypse difficulty, and I can easily dodge anything the Ravager throws at me. The large area of effect build also deals really well with those smaller enemies that the bosses may spawn in. And in just over 40 seconds, this build has easily allowed me to crush the Ravager. I'll show you the full build now in detail, and then I'll show you more examples of its potential. If you think you know how to further improve this build, please let me know, because I always like hearing your ideas. Firstly, we are maining the engineer, and secondary archetype is going to be the Archon. We want the engineer as the main so we can overclock that turret to get those stupidly high DPS numbers. And make sure you equip the flame turret skill. And the Archon is going to be the secondary for the increased mod gen and power, so it's perfect for our firestorm and chaos driver mods. I went with the talisman of the sun amulet to make our flame turret more overpowered and allow us to use misty step to help avoid taking any damage. Next is the Illumini ring for the increased elemental damage, such as those beautiful flames from our turret and firestorm, and Ring of Omens to unlock that misty step. Then Firestone ring because we like to burn things. And the last ring is Stone of Malevolence for the increased mod spam. I always like using the Enigma's Chaos Driver mod for the elemental and mod builds, plus adding the star of the show, the Spirit Healer Mutator. This is the new Mutator from the Halloween event. And this is what's allowing our turrets crazy DPS. So go get it ASAP if you haven't already found it. And it also gives health regen with every Chaos Driver I shoot, so that's 7 stacks for big health regen. I reckon there will be some powerful health regen builds based on this Mutator. I'm going to be working on that soon, but if you've already seen a really good one, please let me know. The melee weapon doesn't matter at all because you won't be using it in the build. For the primary weapon, I'm running the Pulse Rifle with our Firestorm and Harmonizer Mutator for increased mod damage and generation. Plus, the Pulse Rifle is really good for killing those enemies that are a bit too far away for our turret to reach. I really like the Quilted Heart Relic for any Misty Step builds, as you won't lose any health while Misty Step evading, and it'll regen any lost health really quickly. Plus, the relic stays active for a really long time. With the Quilted Heart, I like to run the damage reduction, healing effectiveness, and health with it. And as for the traits, you'll automatically have Flashcaster and Fortify, which are definitely really helpful. And for your first option, go with Kinship, because that nasty turret has a tendency to shoot us at times, and Firestorm loves to give us a fiery hug. With this trait, you should survive all of that. I also put 1 point in Regrowth for health regen when out of combat. Expertise, Endurance, and Vigor will already have points in them, and Untouchable is great to make sure your Misty Step is even more powerful. We put 4 points in Triage for increased health regen from relics and all that other stuff. Amplitude is really powerful with the Firestorm to give bigger, fierier hugs to everyone, so no one misses out on the love. Bark Skin is for reduced damage taken, and Fitness for long Misty Step evade distances. And lastly, Siphoner for that extra life steal that we always want. If you find you are taking a lot of hits and need more health regen, swap out the Fire Ring for the Soul Link Ring so your turret can supply lots of health regen to you with each hit. This build also shreds groups of enemies, not just bosses. No enemy is safe from your crazy turret friend. It just doesn't have the greatest range, so you may need to help it out from time to time with that, and that's where the Pulse Rifle comes in. For your armor selection, it doesn't really matter because you rarely get hit with this build, but I do recommend anything that is in the normal to heavy range. If you're in the red numbers, you will drain big chunks of health when you evade if your relic isn't active. So this way you get the perfect amount of protection, but without the unnecessary health drain every time you dodge. If you use this build correctly, you should have almost unlimited use of your mods. The Flame Turret will regenerate most of your mod requirements, and make sure you equip the Spirit Healer Mutator on your most used mod weapon, as it provides lots of health regen with each use. So that's why I put on the Enigma usually, because you get 7 shots of the mod compared to the Firestorm's 1. This build will eventually get patched, but even when the turret gets its DPS nerfed back down, it'll still be a great build to have in your arsenal. Especially once you can perfect the health regen from the Spirit Healer Mutator. And that's it for the build. I hope you enjoy the firepower it gives you, and it helps you through Apocalypse if you had your hopes set on it. Thank you for watching, and please give me a like if you can, as it really helps me out. There is another powerful mutator that comes from the Halloween event called the Shocker. It's a lot of fun for melee weapons, and I'm working on a video for it now. I hope to see you on the next one.